Inorganic second, chapter 2, magnetic properties of transition metal complex. And this is book by Pardeep's writer. Second chapter, magnetic property of transition metal complex. Electrons revolve around the nucleus in every atom. A revolving electron, like a loop of current, was shown by the noted physicist Oersted in 1820 to deflect the magnetic needle. When electron revolves in anticlockwise direction, the current is clockwise. As a result, the upper face of the electron's loop acts as the south pole and the lower force acts as north pole as shown in figure 2.1. Thus, an electron in motion behaves as a magnetic dipole and possesses definite magnetic moment. If E is the charge on the electron revolving in an orbit of radius r with a uniform angular velocity omega, then the corresponding current produced is I is equal to charge upon time is equal to E by T. A relationship between the movement of electron and the electric current produced shown in figure 2.1. When T is equal to period of revolution of electron is equal to 2 pi by omega. Thus, I is E by 2 pi by omega is equal to E omega by 2 pi. Area of the orbit A is equal to pi r square. Magnetic moment is of an atom is given by m is equal to Ia is equal to E omega by 2 pi into pi r square. M is equal to 1 by 2 E omega r square, or according to Bohr theory, an electron in an atom can revolve only in discrete stationary orbits in which the angular momentum of the moving electron is an integral multiple of h by 2 pi and where h is Planck's constant. Thus, mvr is equal to nh by 2 pi, where n represents the orbit and can have values 1, 2 and 3. We know V is equal to R omega. Substituting the value of V in the equation 2.3, we get m R omega into R is equal to nh by 2 pi, or omega R square is equal to nh by 2 pi m. Substituting the value of omega R square in equation 2.2, we get m is equal to 1 by 2 E multiply nh by 2 pi m is equal to n into eh by 4 pi m is equal to n into mu b, where mu b is equal to Eh by 4 pi m. It is clear from equation 2.5 that the magnetic moment of an atom is quantized and the smallest value of atomic dipole moment m is mu b is equal to Eh by 4 pi m. This value of m is called the Bohr magneton. Thus, Bohr magneton Bm is the magnetic moment of an atom due to the orbital motion of the electron in the first orbit of hydrogen atom. Since the magnetic field is produced by the moving electrical charge, it is expected that the nuclear spin, the spin and orbital motion of the electrons will result in magnetic moment. The nuclear contribution is very small compared to the electronic configuration. Therefore, the nuclear contribution can be easily neglected. It means that the measured magnetic susceptibility of pure substances are usually associated with the electrons. Each moving electron can be regarded as a micromagnet, and the total moment exhibited by a substance is the net result of the moments of individual electrons. To define the magnetic behavior of material, it is appropriate to understand a few terms associated with magnetism. Pole strength. The strength of a magnet may be expressed in terms of unit pole. A unit pole is defined as the pole that repels or attracts a similar pole, placed 1 cm away with a force of 1 dyne. Thus, a unit intensity of magnetic field exists at the point and the unit pole experiences a force of 1 dyne. Pole strength and a line of forces. A magnetic field of unit intensity is considered to give a unit line of force per square centimeter. If a pole of strength m is enclosed in a sphere of radius 1 centimeter, a total of 4 pi m lines of force will come out of this pole. This is because the surface area of the sphere is 4 pi square centimeter. The number of line of forces per square centimeter at the surface of the sphere is given by 4 pi m by 4 pi is equal to m. Intensity of magnetization. I. It represents the extent to which a sample is magnetized when placed in a magnetic field. It is defined as the magnetic moment per unit volume of the magnet. I is equal to magnetic moment by volume. If A is the uniform area of cross section of the magnetized sample and 2L is the length of the sample, then I becomes I is equal to M into 2L by A into 2L is equal to M by A. Thus, intensity of magnetization of a magnetic material is also defined as that the pole strength per unit area of cross section of the material. Magnetic induction. When a substance is placed in a magnetic field of strength H in gauge or Oersted, the total magnetic induction or magnetic flux density B within this substance is given by the relationship B is equal to H plus 4 pi I, where I is intensity of magnetization. The expression 2.7 can be written as B by H is equal to 1 plus 4 pi I by H. B by H is equal to 1 plus 4 pi K. The ratio B by H is called the magnetic permeability. Magnetic permeability is the ability of a material to permit the passage of magnetic line of force through it. The magnetic permeability of a substance B by H is the ratio of density of magnetic line of force within a substance in a magnetic field to the density of line of force in that field in the absence of the substance. The ratio I by H is called the magnetic susceptibility per unit volume or simply as volume susceptibility. It is a property which determines how easily a sample can be magnetized. It is this quantity that is commonly measured experimentally. Magnetic susceptibility is commonly expressed per gram as X or per mole Xm. Thus, Xm is equal to M by D, where M is the molecular weight. The molar magnetic susceptibility is related to the permanent magnetic moment mu b of a pure substance by the relationship Xm is equal to N mu b square by 3 kT, where K is equal to Boltzmann constant, N is equal to Avogadro number, T is equal to absolute temperature in Kelvin. The permanent moment is expressed in Bohr magnetons. Rearranging equation 2.10, one gets mu b square is equal to 3k by n xm into t. Mu b is equal to under the root of 3k by n into under the root of xm into under the root of t. Upon evaluating the constant under the root of 3k by n, we get mu b is equal to 2.828 under the root of xm into t. Thus, the magnetic moment mu b can be calculated from the magnetic susceptibility using the above relation. Types of magnetic material. When a substance is placed in an external magnetic field between the poles of a magnet, the magnetic field produced by the spin and orbital motion of the electrons of the substance interacts with the external magnetic field. Different substances show different magnetic behavior when placed in the external magnetic field. On the basis of their magnetic behavior, different material can be classified into the following three categories: diamagnetic substances, paramagnetic substances, ferromagnetic substances. Diamagnetic substances. Substances which are weakly repelled by the external magnetic field are called diamagnetic substances. Diamagnetism is exhibited by substances which allow the magnetic line of force to pass preferably through vacuum rather than through themselves, as shown in figure 2.2. It amounts to saying that in case of diamagnetic substances, the number of line passing through them is slightly less as compared to line of force passing through the vacuum. As a result, diamagnetic substances are slightly repelled by an external magnetic field. Diamagnetism is exhibited by all substances with completely filled electronic subshell. Diamagnetism is produced by the orbital motion of electrons of the atoms, ions or molecules of the substance. Diamagnetic effects arises only when the substance is placed in a magnetic field. It is due to the interaction of the applied magnetic field with the magnetic field induced in a substance with completely filled electronic subshells. The induced magnetic field in case of substance with paired electron is in the opposite direction to the applied magnetic field. Paramagnetic substances. Paramagnetic substances are broadly defined as substances which are attracted towards the applied magnetic field. The number of line of forces passing through a paramagnetic substances are much more compared to those that would pass through vacuum, as shown in figure 2.2. Paramagnetism is caused by the presence of unpaired electrons. The more the number of unpaired electrons in a substance, the greater is the paramagnetic behavior. We know that most of the transition elements, including F block elements, are known to contain unpaired electrons. As a result, transition metal displays paramagnetic character. All paramagnetic substances have a net non-zero magnetic moment of its own. Some of the common examples of paramagnetic substances are aluminium, Al, platinum, Pt, chromium, Cr, copper sulfate, CuSO4.5H2O, salt solution of iron, copper and nickel, and dioxygen molecules. Some of the paramagnetic substances show complicated magnetic behavior which arises due to the interaction of individual magnetic moments. The individual magnetic moments interacts with one another in such a way so as to align themselves spontaneously. Experimental methods of determining magnetic susceptibility. A number of methods for determining the magnetic susceptibility are known. The two important methods commonly used are Gauss method, Faraday's method. First we discuss Gauss method. The method involves the filling up of finely powdered substance to a certain height in a Pyrex glass tube called the Gauss tube. This tube is suspended from an arm of a sensitive analytical balance in a magnetic field. An electromagnet providing a constant magnetic field in the range 5000 say 20,000 Gauss is generally used. The bottom part of the sample is in the stronger part of the magnetic field while the top part of the tube is in a zero magnetic field. The whole assembly is housed inside an enclosed system in order to avoid vibration of the suspended samples. A diamagnetic representation of the setup is shown in figure 2.3. The powdered substance in the Gauss tube is first weighed without the magnetic field and then weighed in the presence of magnetic field. In case of paramagnetic substance, the substance will be attracted strongly towards the magnetic field and will weigh more. This increase in the weight of substance is a measure of the paramagnetism of the substance caused by the unpaired electrons. The larger the number of unpaired electrons in the suspended substance, the greater is the increase in the weight in the magnetic field. In case the substance is diamagnetic, a decrease in the weight of the substance is registered when the magnetic is on. Calculation of magnetic moment. The Gauss method is the simplest of all the methods for measuring the magnetic susceptibility. The method measures the force exerted on the cylindrical sample suspended in a non-homogeneous magnetic field of an electromagnet. The force acting on the sample is given by the expression F is equal to 1 by 2 K F is equal to 1 by 2 A kh square, where A is equal to cross-sectional area of the cylinder, H is equal to intensity of the central homogeneous part of magnetic field, and K is equal to volume susceptibility. The above expression of force is applicable only if the measurements are carried out in vacuum. However, since the sample is placed in air, the susceptibility due to air K dash needs to be subtracted from the measured susceptibility. The equation 2.13 is thus modified as F is equal to 1 by 2 AH square K minus K dash, where K dash is the volume susceptibility of air. The Gauss tube itself is in the form of a hollow specimen and exerts a force which is always present. In order to evaluate the exact force acting on the sample, the force developed due to hollow specimen needs to be subtracted from the measured force. The force acting on the hollow specimen partially is negative because the tube is made up of diamagnetic material. The equation 2.14 is further modified to F is equal to 1 by 2 AH square K minus K dash plus delta, where delta is equal to force developed due to hollow specimen. For a specimen of constant length and cross-sectional area, the force AH square is constant. If we take into consideration the density of the specimen, it is possible to rewrite the equation 2.15 as 10 की power 6 into x is equal to alpha plus b dash f divided by omega, where alpha is equal to constant for the displaced air and is equal to 0.029 into volume of the sample. B is equal to tube calibrating constant. Omega is equal to the weight of the sample expressed in grams. F dash is equal to force on the sample, that is equal to F minus delta dash. F and delta dash are in mg. Gauss tube is calibrated by filling the tube with a substance whose susceptibility is accurately known. The commonly used substance for calibrating is deep blue colored compound mercury tetrathiocyanocobaltate second HgCOCNS4. Its susceptibility at 20 degrees Celsius is 1.644 into 10 raised to power minus 7. Once we know alpha, beta, gamma and force on a given sample of known weight omega, the volume susceptibility X can be easily calculated from the equation 2.16. It is important to recall that the susceptibility measured of a given paramagnetic substance consists of contribution both from the paramagnetic and diamagnetic susceptibilities. The contribution due to paramagnetic susceptibility is much larger than the diamagnetic susceptibility. The correct susceptibility of the sample is obtained by subtracting the diamagnetic contribution. Thus, paramagnetic susceptibility is equal to measured susceptibility minus diamagnetic susceptibility. Some of the inherent advantages of Gauss tube are: it requires very simple, easy to assemble equipment. It is reasonably priced equipment. It is easy to handle and use. It requires a large amount of the substance. Thus, an ordinary analytical balance can be used to measure the change in mass. Disadvantage of Gauss method: in spite of several advantages, Gauss method suffers from the following disadvantages. It requires large amount of sample. Uniform packing of sample in the Gauss tube is not only tedious and time consuming but is very laborious. Consistent results are not obtained if the packing of the sample is not uniform. Next method is Faraday's method. Faraday's method requires a very small amount of the magnetic sample. The sample packed in a quartz sample is suspended from a sensitive balance in a region of fairly strong magnetic field as shown in figure 2.4. The sample is suspended between the magnetic poles so that the value of product H by dx is constant over the region occupied by the sample. dH by dx is the gradient of the field. The whole setup is enclosed in a closed system which can be flushed with inert gases like nitrogen or helium. Systematic diagram of Faraday's method, in which A is sample, B is equal to arm of balance, C is equal to tear, Q is equal to quartz torsion filament and T is equal to torsion head. A sample weighing 0.1 to 10 mg of substance taken in a M pole of internal diameter approx 1 mm is placed in a magnetic field of constant gradient dH by dx. The force acting on the sample is measured directly using a quartz fiber torsion balance and is given by F is equal to mxh dH by dx, where m is equal to mass of the sample, x is equal to susceptibility of the sample, h is equal to intensity of the central homogeneous part of the field, dH by dx is equal to gradient of the field in x direction. Similarly, the force exerted by the standard calibrant can be measured by weighing the calibrant both in the field and out of field. Generally, the calibrant used is mercury tetrathiocyanocobaltate second. Since the magnetic field H and the field gradient are the same in case of unknown sample and the standard, the force acting on the sample and the standard can be written as H dH by dx is equal to F by mx for unknown sample. H dH by dx is equal to Fs by ms into xs for standard. Equating 2.18 and 2.19, we get F by mx is equal to Fs by ms into xs. On rearranging, we can write the relation x is equal to Fms into xs by Fs into m, where x and xs are the susceptibility of the sample and the standard. M and ms are the respective masses, while F and Fs are the respective forces at constant H dH by dx. Advantages of Faraday's method. Faraday's method requires a very small quantity of the substance and the sample need not to be homogeneous. Compared to Gauss method which require large amounts, approx 1 gram, this method requires only several milligrams, approx 10 mg. Faraday's method gives the specific susceptibility directly. On the other hand, Gauss method gives volume susceptibility. In order to convert volume susceptibility into specific susceptibility, one needs to know precisely the density of the sample. It is difficult to determine precisely the density of solids because the values of density depend upon the packing of solids. Disadvantages of Faraday's method. The main disadvantages of this method are the equipment is very delicate and required great manual skill. Since only a very small amount of the sample is used, reaction occurring at the surface of the sample will lead to large errors. Relationship between magnetic susceptibility and magnetic moments. The magnetic susceptibility Xm is related to magnetic moment mu by the relationship Xm corresponding is equal to N naught mu square by 3 kT. N naught is equal to Avogadro number is equal to 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23. K is equal to Boltzmann constant. T is equal to absolute temperature. Rearranging the equation 2.2 to 1 gets mu square is equal to 3k by N naught into Xm correspondence into T. Mu is equal to under the root of 3k by N naught into Xm correspond into T under the root is equal to constant Xm correspondence where the constant 3k by N naught under the root is equal to 2.828. Thus, the magnetic moment can be calculated from the magnetic susceptibility using the relation mu is equal to 2.828 under the root of Xm corresponding into T. Variation of magnetic susceptibility with temperature, Curie and Curie-Weiss law. Okay, we have learned the magnetic susceptibility varies with temperature and is therefore temperature dependent. It was shown by Pierre Curie that the paramagnetic susceptibility vary inversely with the temperature. Xm corresponds directly 1 by T. Xm correspond is equal to C by T, or where C is equal to constant characteristics of the substance known as Curie constant and T is equal to absolute temperature. The above expression stating paramagnetic susceptibility vary inversely with the temperature is called Curie's law. A large number of paramagnetic substances obey this sample law, especially at high temperature. If we plot a graph between Xm correspondence and absolute temperature T Kelvin, a parabolic curve is obtained as shown in figure 2.5a. However, if we measure Xm correspondence for a substance at several temperature and then plot 1 by Xm correspondence values against absolute temperature, a straight line with slope C is obtained as shown in figure 2.5b, which intersects the origin. Curie's law is followed by substance where there is no spontaneous interaction among the adjacent unpaired electrons. In other words, there is no secondary magnetic interaction between the neighboring magnetic centers. Such a substance is called the magnetically dilute. Although a large number of substances display the behavior, many substances give straight lines that do not pass through the origin, rather intersects the temperature axis a little above the 0 Kelvin, figure 2.5a, or little below the 0 Kelvin, figure 2.5b. Such compounds are stated to obey modified Curie's equation, according to which magnetic susceptibility temperature curve Xm correspondence is equal to C by T minus theta 2.26 equation, where theta is the temperature at which the straight line cuts the absolute temperature T axis. This modified equation is called Curie-Weiss law. Theta is known as Weiss constant. Taking into consideration Curie-Weiss law, the magnetic moment can be calculated by the equation mu is equal to 2.828 under the root of Xm correspondence into T minus theta Bm. Ferromagnetism and antiferromagnetism. We have learned the magnetic property in case of paramagnetic substances originate entirely from the individual magnetic centers. Such type of substance are named as magnetically dilute substances. However, there are some paramagnetic substances in which secondary magnetic interaction exists between the neighboring magnetic centers. Such substances are called magnetically concentrated substances. In such cases, the magnetic susceptibility show dependence on both temperature and field strength. Two such important types of magnetic substances are called ferromagnetic and antiferromagnetic. The dependence of susceptibility of these two forms are displayed in figure 2.7 and 2.8. Magnetic susceptibility temperature curve for ferromagnetic substance is shown in figure 2.7. Magnetic susceptibility temperature curve for antiferromagnetic substance shown in figure 2.8. A close inspection of the figure 2.7 reveals that there is some discontinuity in the curve at a temperature marked Tc on the curve. This temperature is called Curie temperature. Above the Curie temperature, all ferromagnetic substances obey Curie or Curie-Weiss law. In other words, above Curie temperature, all ferromagnetic substances behave as simple paramagnetic substances. However, below Curie temperature, Tc, the magnetic susceptibility behavior is different and depend upon the field strength. A close inspection of figure 2.8 reveals a characteristic temperature Tn called the Néel temperature. Above Néel temperature, all antiferromagnetic substances follow Curie or Curie-Weiss law and show simple paramagnetic behavior. It is important to note that below Néel temperature Tn, the magnetic susceptibility decreases with decreasing temperature. It is important to remember that a diamagnetic substance has its magnetic susceptibility independent of temperature. Magnetic moments. An electron has two types of motion associated with it. One is its going around the nucleus in an orbit, while the other is spinning about its own axis. Since electron is a charged species, its movement generates a magnetic field. Thus, electrons determine the magnetic property in two ways. The magnetic moment associated with the motion of electrons around the nucleus is called the orbital moment, while the magnetic moment associated with the spinning of electron on its own axis is called the spin moment of the electron. The resultant magnetic moment is the sum of the orbital moment and the spin moment of the electron. We have already discussed that the magnetic moment of the substance are generally expressed in terms of units called Bohr magneton, abbreviated as Bm. The contribution to the magnetic moment from the spin moment of the electrons is called the spin-only moment, mu. It is numerically equivalent to 1.73 Bohr magneton. The Bohr magneton is defined as 1 Bohr magneton is equal to h by 4 pi mc, where E is equal to charge of electron, h is equal to Planck's constant, m is equal to mass of the electron, c is equal to velocity of light. The spin magnetic moment mu s of a single electron is given by the formula mu s is equal to g under the root of s into s plus 1, where s is equal to spin quantum number half and g is equal to gyromagnetic ratio. Gyromagnetic ratio G is the ratio of the magnetic moment to the angular momentum. In case of free ion, the value of G is 2.00023. For all practical purposes, the value of G is taken as 2. On substituting the value of S as 1 by 2 and that of G as 2, the spin magnetic moment for a single electron comes out to be 1.732 Bohr magneton, as mu s is equal to G under the root of S into S plus 1 is equal to 2 under the root of 1 by 2 plus 1 bracket under the root of 3 is equal to 1.732 Bohr magneton is equal to. For atom or ions with more than one in unpaired electron, the resultant spin moment is given by mu s is equal to G under the root of S into S plus 1, equation 2.29, where S is equal to sum of the spin quantum number of individual electrons. Since the value of G is taken as 2.0, the equation 2.29 can be written as mu s is equal to under the root of 4s into S plus 1, equation 2.30. Metal ions of d block elements may have 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 unpaired electrons, and consequently their spin magnetic moments can be calculated by using the equation 2.30. For one unpaired electron, S is equal to 1 by 2, mu S is equal to under the root of 4.1 by 2 into 1 by 2 plus 1 is equal to under the root 3 is equal to 1.732 Bohr magneton. For two unpaired electrons, S is equal to half plus half is equal to 1. Mu S is equal to under the root of 4.1 into 1 plus 1 is equal to under the root of 8 is equal to 2.828 Bohr magneton. For 3 unpaired electron, S is equal to half plus half plus half is equal to 3 by 2. Mu S is equal to under the root of 4.3 by 2 into 3 by 2 plus 1 is equal to under the root of 4.15 by 4 is equal to under the root of 15 is equal to 3.873 Bohr magneton. For 4 unpaired electrons, S is equal to half plus half plus half plus half is equal to 2. Mu S is equal to under the root of 4.2 into 2 plus 1 is equal to under the root of 24 is equal to 4.898. For 5 unpaired electrons, S is equal to half plus half plus half plus half plus half is equal to 5 by 2. Mu S is equal to under the root of 4.5 by 2 into 5 by 2 plus 1 is equal to under the root of 4.35 by R. Under the root of 4 into 35 by 4 is equal to 35 under the root is equal to 5.916. It is important to remember that the sum of spin of paired electrons is equal to 0. There is another convenient way in which the spin only moment can be expressed as mu S is equal to under the root of n into n plus 2, where n is the number of unpaired electrons. The experimentally determined values of the magnetic moments of transition metal ions are in good agreement with the spin only values. However, in some cases the experimentally determined values have been found to be larger than the theoretical predicted values. This can be attributed to the contribution made by orbital motion of the electrons in addition to the spin only value. In cases where both the spin and orbital magnetic moments contribute, the total magnetic moment is given by the equation mu S plus L is equal to under the root of 4s into S plus 1 plus L into L plus 1. Equation 2.32, where S is the resultant spin angular momentum and L is the resultant angular momentum quantum number. The experimentally determined magnetic moment of some of the first transition series are summarized in table 2.2 along with the theoretically determined mu S and mu S plus L values. A close inspection of the table 2.2 reveals that the observed magnetic moment value are frequently greater than the spin only values mu S but are never greater than mu S plus L values. It is clearly implies that the contribution to the magnetic moment due to the orbital motion of the electron is very small. It means the orbital moments are partially or completely quenched. This is primarily because the electric field of the ligands surrounding the metal ion restrict the motion of the electrons. Table 2.2 calculated and observed magnetic moment of some metal ion of the first transition series. In case of the elements of second and third transition series, and particularly the lanthanide elements, the orbital motion is not quenched. This is because the 4f orbitals are incompletely filled and are too far inside the overlying 5s and 5p orbitals. Thus, the electric field of the surrounding coordinate ligands does not restrict the orbital motion of the electrons. And therefore, the magnetic moments of the lanthanide ions result from the contribution of both the electron spin as well as the orbital motion of the electron. The intrinsic magnetic moment of atoms and molecules are made up of the vectorial sum of the orbital and spin moments of the unpaired electrons. Three types of interaction are possible: spin-spin, orbital-orbital, and spin-orbital interactions. In case of lanthanide metal ions, all the three interactions play an important role. In such cases, the resultant magnetic moment can be calculated by means of Russell-Sonder coupling, also known as LS coupling, by the relation mu is equal to G under the root of J into J plus 1, where J is the total angular momentum, which is the vectorial sum of the total angular momentum L and the total spin angular momentum S. J is the Landau splitting factor given by G is equal to 1 plus J into J plus 1 plus S into S plus 1 minus L into L plus 1 divided by 2J into J plus 1. Using the equation mu is equal to G under the root of J into J plus 1 for the trivalent lanthanide ions, there is found to be good agreement between the observed and the theoretically magnetic moment values. If L and S are not coupled to give the resultant J, as is the case with ions of small multiplet separation, spin orbit coupling does not occur. In such a case, both L and J are aligned separately with the external magnetic field and the magnetic moment. Values are given by the expression mu s plus L is equal to under the root of 4s into s plus 1 plus L into L plus 1. Equation 2.35. Problem: calculate the value of Landis splitting factor G for a free electron. Solution: the Landis splitting factor G is given by the expression G is equal to 1 plus S into S plus 1 minus L into L plus 1 plus J into J plus 1 divided by 2J into J plus 1. For a free electron, S is equal to half, L is equal to 0 and J is equal to half. Substituting these values, the expression 2.34 becomes G is equal to 1 plus 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 plus 1 minus 0 into 0 plus 1 plus half into half plus 1 divided by 2.1 by 2 into 1 by 2 plus 1 is equal to 1 plus 2.1 by 2 into 1 by 2 plus 1 divided by 2.1 by 2 into 1 by 2 plus 1 is equal to 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Thus, the Landis splitting factor G for a free electron is 2. Orbital contribution to magnetic moment. We have already discussed that both the spin and orbital motion of the electrons are the sources of magnetic moment. The total magnetic moment of material is then made up of two components called the spin and orbital motion. Both these contributions are due to the presence of unpaired electrons. However, in many cases, these unpaired electrons are the outermost electrons under consideration and are not screened by other electrons. In such cases, the spin contribution became important and the orbital contribution may be neglected. The most common examples includes ions of the transition metals. On the other hand, when the unpaired electrons lie well within the ions and screened by other outer electrons. As is true in case of inner transition metal, that is lanthanides and actinides, the orbital contribution cannot be neglected and must be combined with the spin contribution to give the total magnetic moment. The spin angular momentum of an electron does not depend upon the chemical environment. As a result, the spin moment of the unpaired electron is not perturbed by the changes in chemical bonding of the compound. However, this is not the case with the orbital angular momentum, which depend upon the chemical environments. Consequently, the orbital motion of the electrons is very much restricted. This causes the orbital contribution to be reduced or quenched in the complex. This quenching of orbital angular momentum can be easily explained on the basis of crystal field theory. The unpaired electron in a first transition series metal ion are located in 3D orbitals. A transition metal ion has 5 3D orbitals, all of which possess the same energy and are degenerate. In order to generate the orbital magnetic moment, the electrons should go around the nucleus via these orbitals. This is possible if all the three conditions are satisfied. The orbital should be degenerate. The orbital should be of similar shape and size. They should be transformable into one another by rotation about some axis. The orbitals must not contain electrons of identical spin. In a crystal field, the degeneracy of d orbitals are split. For example, in an octahedral environment, the 5d orbitals are split into two groups of different energy, T2g, dxy, dyz and dzx, and dg, dx square minus y square and dz square. It is this energy barrier that restricts the orbital magnetic moment of the electrons. It is important to note that although the set dz square and dx square minus y square orbitals are degenerate in the octahedral crystal field, but their shapes are such that cannot be transformed into the other by rotation. It means that the condition second is not fulfilled. Therefore, the EG set of orbitals cannot generate any orbital magnetic moment. Similarly, the E orbital set in case of tetrahedral complexes cannot generate any orbital magnetic moment. The T2G set of orbitals containing dxy, dyz and dzx orbitals can be easily shown to obey condition 1 and second. Consider the dzx and dyz orbitals in an octahedral complex as shown in figure 2.9. A rotation of 90 degree about the z-axis interconverts these two orbitals so that if an electron was initially in the dzx orbital, it could circulate It could circulate about the z-axis by jumping between dzx and dyz orbitals alternately. This movement is equivalent to flow of current, which in turn produces magnetic effect. The circulation of the current may be either clockwise or anticlockwise. However, in the absence of magnetic field, the two possibilities are degenerate. When magnetic field is applied, the two direction of circulation possesses different energies that cause the loss of orbital degeneracy. Circulation of electron density about z-axis perpendicular to the plane in dxy and dx square minus y square orbitals. In brief, dxz and dyz orbitals are degenerate, and the dxz orbital can be transformed into dyz orbitals by rotating it through 90 degree about z-axis. Now it is the condition third that will dictate whether or not the T2G set will generate an orbital magnetic moment. Thus, an octahedral complex with D1 and D2 configuration fulfill all the three conditions. However, D3 electronic configuration does not satisfy the condition third. Hence, D1 and D2 configuration will carry the orbital magnetic moment, but the D3 configuration will not. On the basis of the above discussion, one can predict that the metal ions with electronic configuration D1, T2G1 and D2, T2G2 will have orbital contribution, but the complex with D3, T2G3 configuration will not contribute towards orbital contribution. Table 2.3 lists the electronic configuration of the central metal atom in which the orbital contribution is present or absent in high spin and low spin octahedral complexes with the D1 or D9 configuration. Table 2.3 Orbital contribution in high spin and low spin octahedral complexes. Orbital contribution in tetrahedral complexes. When the metal ion is surrounded tetrahedrally by 4 ligands, the 5 3d orbitals split into two sets, that is T2 and D orbitals. The energy of E orbitals dx square minus y square and dz square are lower than the energy of T2 orbitals dxy, dyz and dzx. Keeping in view the three conditions first, second and third, the metal ion with electronic configuration D3 ET E2 T21 D4 E2 T2 T22 D8 E4 T24 and D9 E4 T25 will possesses the orbital contribution, whereas metal ions with the electronic configurations D1 E1 D2 E2 D5 E2 T23 D6 E3 T23 and D7 E4 T23 will not have orbital contributions. Table 2.4 lists the configurations of the central metal atom in which the orbital contribution is present or absent in tetrahedral complexes with D1 to D9 electronic configuration. Table 2.4 Orbital contribution in tetrahedral complexes. In comparison of the data in table 2.3 and 2.4 with that of table 2.2 reveals that in cases where no orbital contribution is expected, the magnetic moment value differ only slightly from the spin only value. This explains why in tetrahedral nickel second, octahedral cobalt second and octahedral iron second complexes, the magnetic moment is higher than the spin only magnetic moment. Further inspection of table 2.3 reveals that an octahedral nickel second complex and a tetrahedral cobalt second complex will have the spin only magnetic moment. However, in reality, such a complex exhibited a magnetic moment higher than μs. This is because the excited states of these complexes carry the orbital magnetic moment in a system having such an excited state. The spin-orbit coupling brings about some mixing of the ground state with the excited state, thus forcing some orbital contribution. The magnetic moment in such cases can be calculated from the following formula. Mu effective is equal to mu s into 1 minus alpha into lambda divided by delta. Equation 2.36, where mu s is equal to spin only moment, lambda is equal to spin orbital coupling constant. Del is equal to difference in the energy level between the ground and higher state. Alpha is equal to constant depending upon the spectroscopic term. Table 2.5 gives the value of Table 2.5 gives the value of lambda and alpha for a few transition metal ions. Table 2.5 spin orbit coupling constant lambda and alpha values of some transition metal ions. It is clear from the table 2.5 that the value of lambda is positive from D1 to D5 and negative from D6 to D10. This clearly explains why the magnetic moment values determined in case of copper second complexes are larger, whereas in case of chromium second complexes are small than the spin only values. Orbital contribution in complex of lower symmetry. We have already noted that the probability of orbital contribution is less if the symmetry of the complex is lower. In case of square planar or square pyramidal complexes, the orbital contribution is possible only in case of D2 and D for electronic configurations. In case of trigonal bipyramidal complexes, the orbital contribution will be observed in case of electronic configuration via D1, D3, D4 and D5. The orbital contribution in case of dodecahedral will be observed if the electronic configuration is D7 and D9. Temperature independent paramagnetism, abbreviated as TIP. A number of compounds are known that show a weak paramagnetism in spite of the fact that their ground state do not have unpaired electrons. Two such examples are provided by the permanganate ions MnO4 negative and the hexamine cobalt second ions and the hexamine cobalt third ions CONH363 positive. Such systems are not expected to show any orbital magnetic moment and are therefore likely to be dimagnetic. Since these species display weak paramagnetism, it may arise by coupling the ground state of the system with the excited state of higher energy under the influence of magnetic field. Because of coupling, the complexes may have some orbital magnetism large enough to cancel out the indirect dimagnetism. Since this paramagnetism does not depend upon the thermal population of levels, it is commonly referred as temperature independent paramagnetism or simply TIP. Temperature independent paramagnetism TIP, likewise dimagnetism, is not due to the magnetic dipole within the molecules. Instead, it is induced when the substance is placed in the magnetic field. This induced susceptibility of the ground state is the temperature independent. The magnitude of the magnetic susceptibility of TIP, that is temperature independent paramagnetism, is of the same order as that of dimagnetic substances. Thank you.